Welcome to In Focus with Eden Lane.
Tonight we return to Colorado Ballet on the eve of their encore performance at the Arvada Center Amphitheater, and we get details of the upcoming season from Artistic Director Gil Boggs. So Gil, I'm delighted that you're sort of having a preview of this year's season by showing us how you began your 50th season at the Arvada Center with the piece you commissioned with Matthew Neenan. Tell me how this came about as sort of like the end of the summer and the preview of the next season.
First of all, with Matt's ballet, it's always wonderful to have a choreographer come in, and you want to do their ballet more than once. So Arvada Center gives us that opportunity to bring the ballet back and do it. And it's a year later, so the ballet has grown on the dancers. They've really matured into it. You can see the difference from when the world premiere was a year later and how it is. And it's just it's a fun, lovely ballet, so it's very nice to be able to do that one again.
I think it'll be interesting to see it in that sort of outdoor Summerfest, Centerfest venue at the Arvada Center.
You know, outdoors are fun. When I joined American Ballet Theater, we used to do Wolf Trap, and we did the Freddie Band Center in Philadelphia. And if I wasn't dancing, I would go out on the lawn with a blanket and some crackers and, you know, a drink of some sort.
A little Chardonnay or
exactly,
something like that.
You know, and enjoy the performance. So our outdoor performances are a lot of fun, as long as the weather holds.
As long as the weather, that's true. And the weather we've been having lately, I know you're going to have a lovely evening.
It's going to be great.
Speaking of a lovely evening, that's how you began your 50th anniversary celebration, and it's sort of how you're beginning the next season. But the next season is going in a different order than you have in the past. Tell me about why you're moving the new works to the end of the season.
Moving the new works to the end of the season, first we want to open the season with a blockbuster. I think you want to, you know, Swan Lake certainly, you know, it's the granddaddy of all ballets, as they say. So we decided that's how we wanted to open the season, with a big opening, as opposed to soft with the contemporary works. It also, the contemporary works, it gives us the entire year to have 3 new choreographers come in and do 3 new works for us. If we did at the beginning of the year, we'd only have time for one choreographer. So this way we're having 3 new choreographers, 3 new works, world premieres for Colorado Ballet. So we have the year to work on that, get the dancers prepared. And to be quite honest, Peter Pan, there is some dancing in it for some of the company members, and some not so much dancing. So this final performance gives everybody, it's just pure dancing. It's what the dancers love to do most. It's the program they enjoy the most. So that they have to look forward to towards the end of the season. So we really end on a high note. We
were lucky enough to go along with you as you gave a preview of one of those pieces when you retook the world stage at the Vail International Dance Festival.
Yeah,
How did that feel?
I was crying, so it was great. You know, I was very proud of the company to be up there, and you know, Emery came in, did a ballet for us. She was wonderful to work with, up and coming choreographer, and just commanded the company, commanded the stage with her ballet. And you know, like I wrote Damien a thank you the other day, saying, you know, it was great for our company members to have the opportunity to be a part of something that's wonderful that happens in the dance world, something that large.
And after just completing your 50th anniversary celebration, to be welcomed back with the company of dancers that you were in gave me chills to sit there.
Yeah, no, it was very nice. And you know, for me, the best part was that, one, seeing the dancers, not in awe, but just they were rubbing elbows with some of the biggest names in the business. And then when they got on stages, everybody asked me how I felt about it. I said they didn't flinch. You know, they were just solid as rocks, and they did exactly what they needed to get done, and they just looked so professional. They looked like just an amazing company.
They looked as if, for me, it looked as if not only had they earned their place at the Vail International Dance Festival, but that they were relishing it, that they were basking in that moment.
They were eating it up. I mean, just from the accommodations that they were in, one of the finest hotels in Vail, and the way they were treated, and it's a different world. You know, I don't want to say it's a different world, but it's, you know, the day in and day out grind here, you forget about the glamour of this business, I guess.
They forget how good they are.
I don't let them forget.
Okay, good.
Yeah, no, I can't do that.
And our audience won't forget, because not only are they going to come and see your season, this entire season, but we got to go along with you because we're going to give them a full presentation of what that experience was like later this year.
Looking forward to that.
But in the meantime, you have this great season that you're starting with Swan Lake, as you said. Did the recent success of Black Swan have anything to do with your choice of that as your opener?
No. Maybe a little.
Maybe a
so,
little.
you know, it put the ballet itself in the forefront of the public and what's going on. And yes, so I think there's a value to it. It's also, you know, it's not the movie. So yeah, it's,
No.
it is, as we like to say, your grandmother's Swan Lake, very traditional.
And these dancers aren't those dancers.
No, no. And it's, you know, there are very elaborate sets and costumes. It was rather minimalistic in the movie, I guess you could say. But it's you know, it's an opera house with a full-length ballet, grandeur sets, costumes, dancing, choreography.
It's continuing that theme of showing off this 50-year-old, now 51-year-old ballet
Right.
company as the world-class classical ballet company that it's become.
Right. Well, I'm so proud of the fact that we were in Vail. We did a brand new contemporary work by an up-and-coming choreographer, and then we're going to come back home and we're going to do one of the greatest ballets, full-length ballets, classical ballets that can be done, and we do it very well. We did it in 2008, and I assure you, you won't be disappointed. And it's for this company to be able to do both is just magical.
I think a lot of people think they know Swan Lake, especially if they only attend the ballet occasionally. But if they haven't seen it given this treatment, they don't know Swan Lake.
They don't know Swan Lake, and the last time we did it, the best part that came out of it for me were the men who came up to me and said, I didn't know ballet could be this good. I didn't know I could enjoy it like that. It really, there's an entertainment value there. There's, from the corps de ballet, which is my favorite part, I mean, the precision that's happening with 27 swans on stage.
And the difficulty.
And the difficulty and, you know, the precision of being in line, arms, legs, everything moving together. It's a phenomenal thing to witness.
And after Swan Lake, what's coming next?
We'll do Nutcracker.
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 Because that brings us right to the holidays.
It brings us up to the holidays, and we do 26 performances of Nutcracker. We start right after Thanksgiving.
That's a lot of performances.
It's you know, it's a lot of performances, a lot more than most companies do around the country. I would say they do anywhere from 12 to maybe 18, and we do 26 performances of that, companies of our size. And it's such a tradition in Denver, and the audiences, they keep coming. We're able, you know, we're selling out towards the end as you get closer and closer to Christmas. It's very difficult to get a ticket, so it's a very popular production.
And then after it, we have our holiday treat of the Nutcracker. What are you coming back with in the new year?
We're going to do Michael Pink's production. It's a brand new production of Peter Pan. He premiered it in Milwaukee with Milwaukee Ballet about a year and a half ago. And I went and saw it, and it just, for children, it's phenomenal. It's great. Peter, there's 5 characters flying, Peter and Wendy and John. And they're all out there. The flying is done so well. The choreography is it's very magical.
What score is it?
Philip Feeney, who Michael works with a lot, did a brand new commissioned score for it. So the music is now, it's original. And they also are also, if you've ever seen our Dracula, they're the ones who collaborated. Philip did the music for Dracula, Michael did the choreography. So, but it's not Dracula, it's Peter Pan.
The same sort of creative excellence, just a whole different kind
yes.
of thematic.
Yes, very theatrical, a lot of fun, and there's also, at the end of the second act, as Tinkerbell seems to be meeting her demise, there's a very special moment where there's a bit of audience participation, which I won't give away, but
No.
it really, you know, when I saw it in Milwaukee, you know, a grandmother sitting in front of me, she said, that was just so magical. Oh, you know, so it's a lot of fun.
But when you get a chance to bring something like that to audiences, especially here in Denver, where you're actually making the work here, not just a visiting company, that
Right.
makes it even more magical.
Right. You know, Denver should be very proud of this company because we are, you know, the dancers live here, they're part of the community, we all are, and we care so much about the art in this city and being part of it. And so for us, the excellence, you know, we strive very hard.
So after Peter Pan, we close out your season with your tribute concert. Tell me about that.
Right. And tribute came about, Lillian Cavilla, the co-founder along with Friedan Parker, she just passed away last November. And so I wanted to honor the 2 women, you know, pioneers in dance here in Denver 50 years ago, 51 now. They started Colorado Ballet, and I just wanted to represent what they did through women in dance. So the evening is it's 3 women choreographers, brand new works for the company. So I couldn't think of a better way to pay tribute to what
And
they
you'd
did.
had a chance during the season last year to salute them both.
Right, just before Lillian passed away in October, we did a 50th anniversary evening where we did video and some excerpts from ballets that have been done over the years.
And dancers who were students from the very beginning.
Dancers who were students and former dancers in the company, and Lillian was in the front row, and we were able to honor her. And it was very nice of the response from her family, and saying how much it meant to her. And she, that evening, she seemed like she was 32 years old. She was so full, and we couldn't get rid of her. She wouldn't leave. She wouldn't go home. She wouldn't go home and go to bed. It was great.
And so we're continuing that tribute at the end of your season, and we know that one of the pieces is Emery's piece that you previewed.
Right.
Do we know what else is going to be part of that concert?
Jody Gates is coming in to choreograph a piece for us, and Amy Syward. Amy did a piece for us a few years ago, but they haven't started. Jody is going to start end of October, November, and do hers, and then Amy will come in early next year and create hers. So we've yet to see what they're going to be about.
All of that work, the dance is one of the unique art forms in that it's such an oral and participating kind of history. It's passed on from one dancer to the next dancer to the next dancer. And you're just really highlighting that in this very delicious way.
Yes, yes. You can videotape dance and you can notate it and everything, but literally that one-on-one of where somebody has been and passing it on to a younger dancer is just magical. And I was very fortunate to know Lillian for 5 years, and Lillian, she spoke her mind, and she said, "Gil, here's what I think," and she helped me understand the company and why it was brought about, why it came about, and why the purpose of it being here. So.
And those new choreographers coming in to do their work on this company, right here in Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, it's as good as anywhere.
Well, I know you're getting ready to prepare for your encore performance at the Arvada Center, and then full swing into, well, you're probably already in full swing preparing for Swan Lake.
As we speak, they're upstairs. The ladies, all 27 swans are up there, toes bleeding and sweat pouring down and trying to get ready for the performance. Yes, it's about a 5-6 week process to put that ballet together.
Well, thanks for letting us come in and find out more about what's in store for this year. I can't wait to
Anytime,
see all of it.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Now I'll look back at my interview with guest choreographer Matthew Neenan. So I'm delighted that we get to come and visit for the opening of the 50th season of Colorado Ballet, and we get to meet one of the choreographers who has a brand new piece for the opening at the Newman Center, Matthew Neenan. Thanks for stepping away from rehearsal to give us a little preview of your work.
No problem, thank you.
How did you get connected with Colorado Ballet, since this is your first work with this company?
Well, as an independent choreographer, you try to strive and get your work out there. And honestly, I can't even remember how I got in touch with Gil. I think I may have sent him some of my work via mail, DVD, a few years ago, and he had heard some positive things about my work. And then I think it was last March I got a call from him to do a new work for their opening season.
So the planning starts that far in advance?
Oh yeah, usually it's even further in advance. Usually, my year is planned, it's actually, my year and a half is booked up until December 2011. So,
wow.
With vacations included, of course, but it worked out really well, because when Gil called me in March, I had time off in August and September, so I was able to come here.
And most of your work is in the classical ballet vernacular?
It is. It's quote-unquote contemporary ballet. We definitely use the classical idiom, but we take it beyond that. And you do incorporate modern dance, and you incorporate your own background as a dancer with other choreographers and other famous pieces that you've danced.
Well, what is your background as a dancer before you became a choreographer?
I grew up in Boston, and I studied at the Boston Ballet School, and when I was 14 I moved to New York City, and I went to Performing Arts High School and the School of American Ballet, and then in 1995 I joined Pennsylvania Ballet, and I danced there for 12 years.
And you're still living in Pennsylvania?
I am.
So how does Colorado compare to Pennsylvania?
Colorado's great. The altitudes affected me a little bit. I struggled a little bit those first few days of rehearsal. People warned me, and I had been to Denver before, but not in working mode, in vacation mode.
It's very different, isn't it?
It's very different. So, I didn't believe it, but it was a bit of a struggle, but I'm used to it now. I'm in my second week now. So.
When you get home, your company is going to be surprised by how much higher you can jump in your
exactly.
stamina.
That's what I hear. You feel great when you get to sea level, so I'm looking forward to that.
Well, I'm looking forward to your piece, and I love the chance to sneak into your rehearsal. Thanks for that. What can you tell me about your piece? What's it called? What's the idea behind it? What should the audience look for when we come to see you at the Newman Center?
Well, when you create a new ballet, especially an abstract ballet, before you get in to the process with the dancers, it really can go anywhere. So you have to expect surprises.
So do I take that to mean you didn't have it all mapped out and notated before you got here?
No. The one thing Gil had asked for was that he wanted a closer, something to close the evening, which at first I was very, very excited about. But then as as time got closer, it's a bit of pressure because it also, that really, that orchestrates what music you're going to use. You can't use a downer. You can't use a Philip Glass score where it's really, minimalistic and, something that's, usually as a choreographer, you love to be in the middle of the program because your ballet can go either way.
Whatever you want it to be.
Whatever it wants to be.
What music did you pick?
Dmitri Shostakovich. It's not my first time using his music. I've used his music before. I'm a huge fan. He may be my favorite composer of all time.
Wow.
And usually Shostakovich's music is a little more avant-garde, a little more edgy, a little more, Stravinsky-esque to it. But I found some scores that it's actually from the Shostakovich Jazz album. So it has some of these beautiful waltzes that he created and very robust and grand music.
It's that dreaded word, it's very danceable.
It's very danceable, very danceable. So I knew it would be a wonderful closer. And then when I was talking to my costume designer, Christine Dorich in New York, who Gil actually put me in touch with when I was looking for a designer. We were listening to the music together and we definitely knew we see colors. It needs to be colorful, it needs to be grand, it needs to have a risque, almost a period look to it. And then when we were discussing further, we were looking at the paintings of Georgia O'Keeffe.
Oh.
So that, I guess I can say that's where the inspiration comes from. As far as the look and the attitude and, since then, I always read up on the composers I use. I always do a background check. And if I actually knew about Shostakovich
These days, everyone does a background check.
You really, yeah. You can't hide from anything now. So with Shostakovich, I knew a lot about him already because I had used his music in the past. But then I started reading more about O'Keeffe and learning about her life and, and her process of art and what happened to her in this lifetime. So it's been really interesting. And
so that all crept into your homework before you got here.
Yes.
How has meeting the dancers in this company changed the work or informed the work as you developed it?
That's a great question because especially when I'm blessed. I've done works for other companies where I don't know the dancers, but not as much when I'm at the Pennsylvania Ballet or I'm working with my own dancers at Ballet X. I know the dancers very well. So I can already plan ahead and know she's a great jumper or he's a really strong partner, so we can do a lot of lifts and crazy stunts with this couple. This lady may be tall, so we're going to do something languid and sultry for her. But with these dancers, I went on the website and I knew one of the dancers and that was it. So the rest was, as I said, was just going to be a big surprise. And when you get here, you have to kind of make quick decisions with casting, who you're going to use. So first impression is huge. And
does the fact that this is structured like a traditional ballet company play into that decision making at all?
Sure. Since there's a hierarchy, you have to stay true to where the dancers are in the hierarchy. So if I'm not going to use a principal dancer, I'm certainly not going to put them in the corps de ballet. And sometimes you give someone in the corps de ballet a shot and put them in a leading role. That happens all the time, and it should happen. It's good for morale, it's good for healthy competition.
Makes a good movie, too.
Yes, exactly.
So when you got to meet them, were there surprises for you as you met this company?
Yes, I mean, I had known a couple of the choreographers who had worked here before, and they did inform me that they were very strong technically, and that the women were extremely strong in their point work. Because a lot of the work I do is in flat shoes for the women, or even bare feet.
So this must be kind of fun.
Yeah, so it's been fun, you know, especially with the ladies, because they have such gorgeous ballet techniques. So I've been really using their footwork and the point shoe and kind of going, and you know, it's definitely one of my more classical pieces that I've done.
So what's the piece called?
I don't have a title yet.
We don't have a title yet. But when we're looking in the program, when we come to see the opening weekend at Newman Center, we know that you're the closer.
Oh yes, yes, and there will be a title by then. And I'm still, you know, I'm actually reading the more. I want it to have something to do with O'Keeffe.
Well, I'm so delighted that we got to peek in and meet you and hear a little bit about your experience here in Colorado. And I can't wait to see the ballet.
Thank you, Eden. Me too.
And if you want to come and see the ballet, you only have a very short time. It's not sold out yet, but make sure you log on to Colorado Ballet's website and get your tickets.
Don't miss Colorado Ballet's special encore performance of Matthew Neenan's ballet, The Faraway, at the Arvada Center Amphitheater. Now we learn about some special events surrounding the season opener from Public Relations Manager Katrina Tamija.
Katrina, I know there are some special events connected to the opening of Swan Lake that our viewers certainly want to know about. So tell me about what happens at the beginning.
Well, at the very beginning, we start with a special event during Tech Week Luncheon, and that's October 5th, and that is called our Tech Week Luncheon.
So you're mounting an event during your Tech Week?
We are, yes.
That's insanity.
It kind of is, but it gives people a unique look at the ballet and how a production comes together, and it really gives that unique perspective of a working rehearsal and just a view that otherwise you wouldn't get if you were just to buy a ticket.
So they attend the rehearsal as part of this luncheon?
Mm-hmm. They get to see part of a working rehearsal. So they have lunch and they hear from our Artistic Director Gil Boggs, and then they get to go see part of a working rehearsal.
Oh, how amazing.
It is. It's fun, and it's at the Ellie Calkins Opera House, so it's when things are finally starting to come together. All the working pieces come together.
Now that sounds like a really special event.
It is. It definitely is.
I know there's some other activity going on during that period, or at least begins that period.
We have another event that week. It's that Thursday, October 6th, and it's at 6 p.m., and it's free of charge, and it's a special art exhibit. We have a special French artist whose subject is ballet tutus, and she is working with us and has been so generous, and so her art will be on display at the Ellie.
Is that for a one night only
It
kind
is.
of
It's
exhibit?
one night only, yes, 6 to 8 p.m. that Thursday evening.
Is the art for sale during this
It
event?
is, yes. So, and 50% of all the proceeds from the art will come back to Colorado Ballet.
Oh, so you can attend for free, and if something is calling to you, you get to have a piece of art and support Colorado Ballet.
Exactly. It's a win-win for everyone.
That's great.
So,
Now, I know there are some other things that happen during the run, but there's a special sort of party that I know you want to talk to me about. What's that one?
sure, it's October 19th. It's our Ladies at the Bar. And
B-A-R-R-E.
B-A-R-R-E, yes, pun intended. It's a special evening where a group of people can buy tickets, and they can also, with that ticket purchase, get a dinner to Kevin Taylor's at the Opera House in the
Right
Chambers.
downstairs.
Yep, in the Chambers Grand Salon, and then following the performance, there's either drinks or dessert or both. That's still being decided, but it is. It's a really fun evening.
So the details haven't been fully fleshed out for that yet. Tell me, do any of the company attend that event? So?
Sometimes they do. It's kind of, anyone's guess as to who will be there and who will be able to make an appearance.
We might get to share dessert with some members of the company or some members of the staff of Colorado Ballet.
We hope so, yes. Certainly staff of Colorado Ballet will be there. So,
how do we find out more about these kinds of activities that are connected with the season opener and the rest of your season?
all of our special events are online at coloradoballet.org. You can also email us at specialevents@coloradoballet.org.
Well, I'm looking forward to the entire season, and I'm just thrilled that we're getting this delicious taste of classical ballet for your season.
Oh, we're so excited. It's going to be a great season.
The Playground Ensemble joins Colorado Ballet at the Arvada Center Amphitheater. Here's a first look. And you can spend the evening under the stars at the Arvada Center Amphitheater with Colorado Ballet and their special guest, Playground Ensemble.
That's all for this edition. Remember to join us on Facebook and Twitter. With all that Colorado has to offer, we're here to help you keep it in focus. Thanks for watching. Good night.
Snugglebug.